Hello, I'm Charlie Shane. I'm an attorney in Washington State. Today I want to take a moment and talk to you about AI for the non-attorney and how to use it to help you navigate some legal issues on your own. Now, I will say that you just have to be really careful with AI as a non-attorney, because as an attorney, particularly like ChatGPT, also I think I haven't been really happy with Microsoft Copilot for just legal issues or ChatGPT, because the problem is that it will actually make up case law and citations, and even in some of the best AI, because I love AI. I use it in my practice all the time, and it's expanded my practice. I've been able to help people even more than I did before. I've been able to be more efficient, stay abreast on the latest case law and issues. I've loved it. I use the Lexis Protege. They call it Protege AI, and it's just fantastic. It's been a real benefit to me and my clients. But it's pricey. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're in the legal profession. For a layperson trying to understand what's going on in their case and trying to understand the law, I wouldn't recommend it just because of the price point. But I will say even with Protege, where I ask a question, I found that you have to be very careful, because it will spurt out some answers and it appears like, oh, this is the law on that. But then when you hit it with a different type of prompt, it will spit out some other answers and you realize, no, that's not the law at all. It happened to me just the other day. So I have to kind of probe and try different prompts and make sure, and of course I cross-check the citations, because unlike ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot or I think even Gemini, you won't be able to, or on Protege, you actually get actual citations. But even there, I found like you have to be careful, because it will cite to cases. It'll cite to a part of the case, or it'll be its citations might be weird. It'll cite to actual cases, unlike the other ones. But I think I'm kind of going off on a tangent here in areas more for attorneys. But for the layperson, I will say this: I found Gemini is okay. I don't use Gemini straight, but just in a Google search, you can kind of get a broad idea of the law in a particular area. I mean, even I use it. And I found that's beneficial. I wouldn't entirely rely on that. I would look at it the same way I look at medical advice. I use Grok. I like Grok a lot. And I've used it for medical advice for myself, and it's given me a great overview, but it always says, hey, consult a doctor on this, or I would advise that you consult a doctor just to make sure for you. And I ultimately do, but it kind of leads me in the right direction. It makes it easier to have a conversation with my doctor. And the same thing with you and your lawyer. It will lead you in a certain direction, and if it leads you in the wrong direction, your lawyer can tell you, hey, that's not really correct, or it's partially correct, but you need to look at these aspects. The AI, though, that I would absolutely recommend that could be helpful to any layperson or non-attorney it's called Coral AI. And I absolutely love this AI, because what you can do is you can take bank statements, you can upload them to Coral AI and ask questions about the statements. Now, it's not perfect. It will miss things. It's not like 100% accurate, but I'd say 80% accurate. And you sometimes have to ask probing questions, just like with any AI, and try it at different angles. But it's great because you can say things like, okay, for 2024, tell me about all the outgoing transfers and where they went. And it will spurt out, here's all these transfers. You can look at them and say, oh, weird. What's this account? I don't recognize this account that this outgoing transfer is going to. Or tell me about all the deposits for 2024. Boom, 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 boom. So it's a really great method if you want to probe, get a kind of an overview and probe into the finances of your family or where things have gone. You can even get an idea of your own expenditures. You can say, what were all the expenditures for groceries, and look for expenditures for Safeway or whatever, and it will spit it out. And that's really helpful too, because one thing that you have to do in Washington State when you deal with finances is you have to do what's called a financial declaration. And in that declaration, it has certain categories of expenses, and you got to fill out, okay, I spend about this much each month in these categories. And there are a ton of people who have no idea how much they spend in those categories. And this is a great way to figure that out. I think about myself. My wife does most of the grocery shopping, and I have no idea how much we spend on groceries. I'm almost afraid to look. Unless you keep a very tight budget, you're just not going to know. And not everybody keeps a tight budget on the groceries. So that's just an example. It asks for things like, how much do you spend on hair supplies? Obviously not a lot for me, although I do spend a lot on shaving. And it asks for different categories, and it's very helpful with that. It might be kind of pricey for some people. It's about, I'm not positive on this, I think it's about $20 a month. Might have changed, but it's really great for finances. And that's one thing you can do as well, because like I've said in some of my other videos, you really you want to get as good of a grasp on your finances going into your case as possible. You want to start gathering bank statements, tax returns, whatever financial information you can get for your lawyer, you want to get it. Even if you're not the person that handled the finances, even if the other spouse handled the finances, you still should do this, and it'll be really helpful. And this program is helpful as well. Another area where I think AI is great for the layperson in legal issues is in your communications with your spouse. Now, I love Microsoft Copilot for this because I use Outlook, and this is just an example of how it helps. Obviously this is for communications with my spouse, but in my interactions, I tend to be a little bit blunt. And if I run it through Microsoft Copilot, it'll spit out something a little bit more friendly, collegial, and less blunt. And it's been helpful to me in my writing. And where it helps other people, or where it helps non-attorneys, especially in sort of really high conflict cases, or even not high conflict cases, because all your communications with your ex, you got to make them, especially in a divorce, make them as if they could potentially be before the court, because the truth is they could potentially be before the court. And I would advise that you run them through an AI. Like I said, I like Copilot for this, but you can use ChatGPT. You can even tell it the tone, make this friendly but brief, especially in high conflict cases. That's the best way to do it. It will churn it out. You can tweak it a little bit, but it is really helpful, and I regularly advise my clients to use that in those types of situations. The biggest warning I have on AI is like attorneys have gotten in trouble for this and been sanctioned thousands of dollars because they just blindly rely on it, especially with ChatGPT, and it will make stuff up. It's amazing how much it does that. So you really have to be careful using AI for legal advice. I can't emphasize that enough. You can use it to get a broad overview, but it's best to get an attorney to take a look at what AI has said, or when you have that conversation with your lawyer, you'll be able to realize, oh yeah, that's good stuff, good advice, or no, that that the AI was off. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Please, I'm trying to build up my presence online, so please like and subscribe, make a comment if you want. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Saturday.